So I've been living in my apartment for almost a year and a half now, and for the new year, I decided to do a bit of a deep clean. I donated a bunch of things and reorganized, and I figured now would be a good time to do an updated home tour because I'm planning to move this summer, which is always really exciting, but also stressful and busy, and I don't foresee myself prioritizing an updated home tour at that time. Though I do want to document this part of my life, and so it's happening now. This is both my bedroom and my mini living room. Behind my bed, I installed 2 wooden shelves that serve for a couple purposes. The one is storage. I keep my books on it, art pieces, but I also use these shelves as a nightstand. So I'll keep my blue light glasses on it, any candle I light before going to sleep. This is also where I'll put my phone before going to bed. I have various artworks and poems on my walls as well. So for example, you can see that on this wall I have an embossed blue ink print made by my friend Bree Tabin, and then underneath it is a photograph from my friend Luca de la Lune's music video shoot. It's a really warm feeling to decorate my apartment with sentimental art pieces. To the right of my bed, I have this beautiful teak mid-century mirror. I got it secondhand on Marketplace and bought it the very first day I moved into this apartment. Continuing on, you can see that I have really low windows, and this was part of the reason I chose to live here, because my cat loves it. In the corner of my room, I keep a lot of paper. I have a bunch of books that I have yet to read, as well as my vintage typewriter that was gifted to me from my dad. I also have a bunch of magazines and newspapers, and on top of it all are my journals. I do literally write this much. Every journal has a purpose. This print was gifted to me by my partner. They were gifted it kind of randomly while we were out during Nuit Blanche, which is a night street art festival. I liked it a lot and said that multiple times, and they gave it to me. Continuing in the same direction, we have my closet. Now my closet isn't very interesting. It's just a place for storage. I keep all of my tops hung up on hangers and then have all of my bottoms folded on a deep shelf. I also keep things like my purses and hats and glasses in here. I have these really simple jewelry dividers as well, and have everything separated into earrings, bracelets, rings, and necklaces. My closet tends to get a bit overrun with things. I keep all of my paintings in there, a lot of shoes, people's birthday presents, just you name it. If I need to keep something away from my cat, I put it in my closet. Beside it is my Street Fighter arcade machine, and this has followed me home to home. I've had it for so many years now, and it still brings me a lot of joy. Out of everything in this room, my arcade machine is definitely the thing that aesthetically doesn't match, but I genuinely don't have a place for it, so I've just had to kind of let that go. Now, the other corner of my room is my reading nook. I have this really beautiful brass coffee table there, which I got from the first bookstore I ever worked at. At some point, my boss wanted to get rid of it, so I just bought it off of her. All of my huge art books are displayed upright on the floor. They don't really fit anywhere because it's like Basquiat, Keith Haring, Junji Ito, you know, just those thick art books. But I do find that I've read them a lot more since moving into this apartment because they're so obviously in my sight that I'll pick them up and reread them very casually. Above all this, I have my paper pendant lamp. This is definitely one of my favorite thrift finds. It produces such a warm light, and I just really love the structure of it. Again, I have more art prints. These 2 are from The Strange Library by Haruki Murakami, which I will say is somewhere in this book stack. I've also read all of these. I just think it's really pretty to stack them this way. Oh, and then as we make our way upwards, we have this really cute shelf fixture. I'm really fond of this shelf because I acquired it at the beach My friend Miranda and I were walking around after swimming, and outside of someone's house was a small pile of furniture that just said free, like there's a free sign. While rummaging around, we found this shelf, and I just carried it on my shoulder for the entire day. It must have looked really weird to anyone who saw me, but it was so worth it. I love it. I keep my Devil Girl Valkyrie vase on here, as well as one of these pop figures that my friend got me, as well as my vintage Brownie Hawkeye camera. I have various candles here, perfumes, oils, this really cute vase that I got on Marketplace, and my clapperboard with an 8mm film reel and jelly caps for my camera lenses. So yeah, this is the first room. I spend the most amount of leisurely time in here. Not only am I happy with how I've curated this room, but it also gets the most amount of sun. It tends to be the warmest room as well, so I'm really happy with it. Leading into a small doorway thing would be my kitchen. So as you can see, I've placed my very small dining table against the connecting wall. It's both a place to eat and where I work on my laptop. I try not to keep this area too cluttered because honestly, just having a lamp on it already takes up enough space. Above all this, I have more art pieces. These ones in particular are from local art markets, as well as magazine cuttings. I also have my Kit Kat clock. I'd been wanting one of these for roughly my entire life, and only recently got my hands on one, I think last February. Then across from all that are the appliances, the sink, the kitchen cabinets. I put all of my older books on these, you know, the ones I haven't read for several years. I also changed out all of the cabinet knobs. Most of them are plain gold, but I also have one that's a ginkgo leaf, one that's a rabbit head, and one that's a blue and red ceramic look. I backsplashed this entire section with peel and stick tiles as well. Now, I feel like I need to give a proper report on these peel and stick tiles. They have not held up the best. The ones that have worked are behind where my sink is. So the other side of that wall would be my bathroom, which means it is a neutral to warm temperature. But everywhere else I did a peel and stick tile has, well, peeled. Something to note is that on the other side of those walls is nothing. It's the outside of the house. Those walls can get quite cold, and I've noticed the time that these tiles are lifting the most is during the winter. Maybe this is common knowledge, but I just figured they would be better weathered than they are. So I'm a little disappointed in that. I've had to reinforce it with various different kinds of glue, which will be fun to deal with when I move out. But yeah, definitely noted for next time. Moving on, I have a small little coffee area. I keep my stir sticks, foamer, coffee beans, and my various mugs. Going along the countertop, I have my microwave, my hot water kettle, a lamp, more books that I've read, and my record player. Ideally, I wouldn't be putting my record player on the counter, but there's nowhere else to put it. You can also see that I have a variety of plants. This window in particular gets a lot of sun, and my cat doesn't frequent it, so most of them reside here. Then my fridge. I love my fridge. Like many people's, it's full of memories. I have a postcard from my trip to the mountains, and a Polaroid of my partner with their cat. There's a Japanese art piece from a book fair, a Peach Ranch magnet from my younger sibling, ceramic food, a Polaroid of my friend Bongani Musa. My fridge truly brings me a lot of joy. Above it, I have a bunch of finished manuscripts. I think there's maybe 3 novels in there that I've never once tried to get published, but also the manuscripts to Youth and Screaming Sweet Nothings, which are my first and second poetry books. I'm really excited to see just how big this pile becomes, as I'm going to be a writer for the rest of my life. Just beside my fridge, I have Frankie's cat pole and a few of her toys. It's also where I hang up my keys, and store my winter jackets, my scarves, and my bags. This is the front door, essentially. And the gist of the kitchen. You know, because I'm one person, I mostly use the kitchen cabinets as storage. There really isn't a lot of cutlery or dishware in there. It's like my Halloween decorations, my art supplies. It's where I keep my toilet paper, all of my tools and hammers and stuff. I view my kitchen more as a place for function. I do hang out there casually as well, but yeah, it's more of my workspace and where I cook food. Just past my kitchen, I have this mini hallway where I keep a display table. This particular one I thrifted on Marketplace. I love the way this metal bends into the wood. I think this is a beautiful piece. I keep books here. You can probably gather that's most of what I own. And on top of the display, I have some records, a candle, a vase, and then above it is this metal wall shelf that was just gifted to me for free. I have a radio on here and various extra trinkets. This is also where I keep some of my film cameras and a couple cassettes. Again, there's more art randomly about. I have this David Bowie Aladdin Sane embossed book and beach town painting. This particular one has also followed me home to home. Similar to my arcade machine, I don't fully feel like this matches my style anymore, but I don't know, there's something about it. Like when I first locked eyes with it at the thrift store, it just made me really feel something. Like when I look at it, it feels like home. That sounds really cheesy, but I mean it in this romantic way. It looks like a place I'd really want to live. Oh, and I also framed my movie poster for Brute. Being able to debut Brute at the Emergent Art Exhibit was one of the best parts of 2024. It rocked. Like that night was so fun. It was just 2 hours of big queer energy. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm quite proud of the poster I made. So I thought I would display it in this apartment. Right above Frankie's food and her litter box. Now, I do have the world's smallest bathroom. When you walk in, you can instantly see that the toilet is almost touching the bathtub. Like your legs will touch when you're sitting on the toilet. But in my bathroom, I have all of my towels and my face cloths, an ironing board, various baskets of medical supplies and bath care. I do think my bathroom mirror is quite pretty. It's a really nice dark wood and has these little shelves protruding from it. Of course, I have more books and all of my skincare is in the sliding mirrors of the cabinet. On top of it, I have a vase, a candle, and a collage of artworks. These are all smaller pieces from, again, local markets, magazines. I also found this plastic mint green toilet paper roll holder on Marketplace. I was quite happy to find this because there's more wall space than there is floor space. And then right above it, I just have a plant, as well as a candle and shower speaker. So yeah, that's the bathroom. You know, there's honestly not a lot I can do with it, so there's not a lot in it. Thank you for watching my studio apartment tour. Just as much as I'm excited to move and redecorate and do this all over again, I also feel so in love with this apartment. Like, this is the best place I've ever lived, even if it is tiny. I just know I'm gonna spend a lot of time feeling really appreciative of this place up until it's gone. If you want to chat about anything you've seen in this video, please leave a comment and make sure to subscribe if you already haven't, like if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next week. Bye!